Right, I'm having another stab at this one because there was a few points, and I don't think I made like the biggest one that well or at all. But anyway, I was reflecting upon today. So this is in a way a diaryfical reflection, how you're supposed to use a journal. So here I sit with my fine quill pen, dip, 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 dip. I've charged my inkwell and dipped my tip, and I shall scroll upon this fine reed parchment. But no, I was thinking about today and how much of a fucking nightmare I would have been if anyone would have been here trying to help me. Like, my clumsiness is just part of me, you know. A lot of people don't know it, but clumsiness is to do with ADHD. It's, you know, any process in my brain can become incomplete, including judging distances and doing things properly. It's pretty much exactly the same that occurs in DCD, but obviously people with DCD, it's all focused much more primarily in that area. You know, there's loads of crossovers of all this shit. So the clumsiness on messiness, disorganised, da-da-da-da-da. But the fact that you'd have seen me with the guitar nowhere near put up a fucking bin of a room, because in looking for the tools, I dragged all kinds of crap out from under the bed and got distracted and started sorting stuff out and tearing paper up and making a pile of bin shit, and just how flustered I was. I don't think anyone wouldn't have been able to be like, say shit like, for fuck's sake, get your shit together, fucking get your head in the game, da-da-da, and it would have all been urging and cajoling and done sort of jokily and fucking hell, mate. And it's honestly, it's such the wrong thing to do. It's such the wrong thing to do. Because my anger's always like inappropriate. It's often quite funny. But it's like, you know, when I've never understood wind-ups when people like make you angry and see that you're revving up, that you're talking about something, and then they sort of play devil's advocate and go, well, I don't blame him for saying that or something. And you go, you fucking what? And that's the wind-up, is to make you really fucking angry, and they're having a right laugh about it. And it's like, I feel fucking abused when people do that to me, because I am easily fucking led, because I can't communicate very well, and I am easily manipulated and all that shit. And I feel like, yeah, I feel fucking abused. I really fucking do. And I think, you're making me this fucking angry and you're loving it. I fucking hate people in that moment when they do that to me. I really fucking do. Because if I ever try to explain it, I'm always just eye rolls. Oh, come on, it doesn't matter. I'm like, it's actually fucking this is when I say the world's telling me it's not happening, Mikey. And I'm utterly fucking frustrated, because I think you cannot fucking tell me that this isn't fucking real. It's a real, it's a tricky one for particularly the people that love a good wind-up, because you're just told you've got to fucking take it. It's like, banter, give as good as I fucking get, mate. Brilliant at that. Cheeky shit, yeah. But those kinds of wind-ups, like, I do remember someone who's a good friend of mine, actually, and she said I was only winding you up, and I just went, fucking why? Because that was one of those situations I was thinking, you know me, you know what I'm fucking like. Why are you trying to make me kick off and find it funny? We have talked about it since. That wasn't a dig at her. She does watch a few of these. That wasn't a dig at you. But it did happen, didn't it? But that's what I'm like when people do those. But in any case, all of that would have just been difficult to be around because of my generalised hecticness and just, you know, passion about things. And, fuck's sake. And, you know, I look, again, this is where I get massively misjudged. And, you know, I've said a few times, I'm probably sexually frustrated. And you think, yes, I probably fucking am, mate. Be this fucking alone and single and fucking fucked up by it, and then find it funny, you cunt. But there's often, I think as well, this was like the point I made in my bitch and my lover thing, that big post, is, you know, when a man shows a sign of something like that, it's always, ooh, there's this dark underlying ogre that's just been waiting this whole time, and now I've just seen him, because that's the way we interpret men. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm doing exactly the same as what women do. And just rage like fuck over something, and then like cry about it, and then, you know, and just snap. Emotions happen. They're just accepted. And a lot of the time, men's emotions are judged. Fucking believe me, be on the other end of it before you fucking comment. Seriously, don't just shake your head and go, no, that's ridiculous. Because you need to know what it's like to be on the other end of, and watch how people suddenly become wary of you. Or like a lot of horrible shit because they think they've seen this, you know, nasty fucking psychopath underneath. It's not. What I'm being like is there's a similarity in, say, a dementia patient. When they say, you know, they'll write, you know, can become difficult and difficulty in being what is it, becoming compliant with directions or something, not obeying orders, all that sort of shit. But they can, you know, they can be someone who was a lovely, kind man or woman, and they suddenly turn into this depraved sexual monster or this fucking horrible bastard and all this shit. And how many times have you had someone say, I didn't recognize him, it wasn't the same person? No, it was the same person. It was a human person. It was a human person with their brain in such a state that they would behave that way. Any single human being would behave in that way if their brain had been put into that corner. If you mix the fear with the confusion, with the sense of betrayal, with this and with that and all the complicated shit they've got going on, the exasperation of it all, the fact that it's always happening, all that shit, that's how they would end up being. But so often you're judged on those apparent behaviours. I have been judged on those apparent behaviours. I've had it fucking said to me, you know what I mean? Suddenly people start saying shit. Fucking hell, you say you can't get on with people. No fucking wonder, mate. Look at you. That shit like that. And suddenly, boom, all of my fears are handed to me by someone who reckons they've suddenly got me all figured out. I was just like, no, this fucking angry, raging heart is the same fucking heart that loves you. I love hard. I do. It's passion is what it is, and frustration, and just anyone who was this bewildered so often with human interactions and not on edge, but always just thinking, well, that one, oh, is that right? Is this, am I supposed to say that? Just not out of like the fear of, oh, I'm gonna get everything wrong and I'm silly. It's more like, I just don't know. I just don't fucking know. So yeah, it's like, of course it's difficult to be around watching someone shout and swear and make a mess and then just get frustrated and then feel shit about themselves. How can anyone help? The other one was the phone. Like that guy on the phone, making me repeat myself. But it's the sort of thing where someone would want to intervene and go, come on, don't take it out on him. It's not his fucking fault. And again, it's like, so often we match aggression with aggression or questioning. No, don't be like that. You're giving them instructions. That's not how you manage aggression. Aggression needs to be balanced. It doesn't need to be met. If it's met, it's seen as a challenge and it gets one-upped. But there's also, you would encounter Mikey logic at the very worst time, because I already know the guy was only doing his job, and I already know that shouting him, it doesn't help. And you'd get an answer like, oh yeah, I sat here and I thought, oh, I know, shouting's going to fucking help. I'll shout and see if that fucking helps. Then when it didn't help, I decided to do it more. Because I'm already fucked off at the fact that I know all of this shit. Anything that you're going to reassure me with or educate me on. But the thing is, I know why. Because I've just behaved like a child. And we automatically will talk to someone like a child if they behave like a child. And that's the natural thing. If you go and like, if you hear someone recounting a story of a beef they've had with a company and they're having a right go at the secretary or something, you could go, mate, it's not her fault. How's she supposed to fucking help with that? You know, you're pointing something out that they look like they've massively missed. And with me, it's not that. A lot of the time, if I would be telling the story about that, I'd be telling it from the point of view of, look how fucking angry I was. Then this happened, then that happened, then that happened, then that happened. I'm talking about how much of a multitude of fucking experiences came along. Yet you would talk about him. Of course you would. You know? And it's the sort of thing that I've come across, and it's led to a lot of arguments, because people feel I'm just being hostile towards them, and you know, I have been. But it's out of utter frustration and utter, like, it's when people say that sort of thing, it's like a million miles away from where I was. And it's, you know, no one likes being spoken to like a child, and it's really hard not to when someone's behaving like one. I know I behave like one. I get frustrated and angry and upset and ashamed and embarrassed when it happens, and it's now happening and I'm angry, and now you're talking to me like I'm a child. It's a recipe for disaster. And you'll go away thinking, fucking hell, I'm trying to fucking help him. That's what's happened. That's what does happen. And it's not all my fault. It's not all my fault. Because it's just the way I respond to things, the way I react to things. And like I say, you know, one of the reasons I just loved My Favourite Human, that time when I got to the end of a rant, I just looked at her and I went, I fucking love you. And I just hugged her. And she was like, thanks. She didn't get it. But I said, you let me fucking express. And she was like, but you weren't shouting at me. And it was that simple. For her, she just stayed totally fucking calm and let it happen. Occasionally she says, like, sorry, what do you want from me here? Do you want to just rant or da-da-da? And at that point, I might shout more out of total frustration because there's this bit I'm trying to get across and then someone's going, what are you trying to get out? What are you trying to say? And I've even done that, and she'll handle that. It's this. She knows that it's because of that. She knows where that anger's going. It's not towards her. That's someone who can fucking handle me. Like I said, I never said I was low maintenance. That's real shit to me. That's how quickly I can explode. So quickly I can seem totally unreasonable. And then when you're angry and you're leaving, I'm fucking like, my heart's fucking breaking. And I'm thinking, and I can see that I've made you angry, and I can see it was all my fault. And all I'll ever get to do is go, I know, I'm sorry. And all of the shit of why it happened like that is never going to get brought to it cannot be allowed into the conversation because I was wrong. And again, it's that sort of, I feel imprisoned. I feel fucking imprisoned. I feel imprisoned when I can see the conversation going that way and I'm going, oh, fucking hell, fucking hell, fucking hell. I'm already in prison because I can see that I've said the wrong thing at the wrong time or whatever. I've appeared to be someone I'm not. Again, I've appeared to be someone I'm not. So yeah, it's like a lot of the time, you know, when I'm misunderstood, I know that my heart shows through because enough people say it. But quite often, the way I was today, that's when my heart ain't fucking nowhere near enough, mate. Don't fucking care. You don't fucking speak to anyone like that. And fuck off. So, you know, look, when people are going, but you're lovely and we love you, I've got that reluctance. I'm thinking, it's because you've never seen me like that. And I know that that's why I'm alone all the time. I know it is. I know it's because I've got this sometimes coming off me and it's horrible to be around. But I'm working on it. I am being aware of it. Being aware of the complexities of those interactions is going to teach me about them. And hopefully be able to do something with them as they happen, rather than just respond to them and react to them. But it did just sort of make me think, like, I really do need a fucking support worker. I really fucking do. This isn't bullshit. This is no fucking bullshit. I can be a complete calamity over 2 or 3 little phone calls and my world's in bits. And again, people would be like, you know, why have you got to make so much out of everything? So I don't make anything out of everything. I just start doing something and suddenly things start to go slightly wrong and then I'm in fucking bits over it. And I'll sit and think about it afterwards and go, oh, I know what was happening. So I've got all that awareness. I've got all that conscious stuff. So then people talk to the conscious and say, And I'm like, but it's not the conscious causing it. It's coming up from underneath and manifesting in the conscious. And, you know, telling me I'm worthy of love is a lovely thing to hear, but I just think I don't see how that stops this. You know, telling me, but you're amazing, you're smashing it. This is lovely, but it's equally baffling. But yeah, hopefully this is the sort of stuff that I've said that I'd be quite trepidatious about sharing, because I don't want to be sort of showing anger towards any particular person or anything. But I just thought, okay, so hypotheticalize what happened today and imagine someone was here and imagine what would have happened. And I think it's pretty inevitable that those kind of pretty much would have been the things that did happen. So that is today's reflection and something to perhaps return to.